Dr. Walker, where are you?
Transmitting coordinates now. Check your map.
Hey everyone, this is Gaetano Prestia from MyMedia, and this is our video review of Red Faction Guerrilla.
I'm not so sure I can fix that!
Guerrilla is a fantastic entry in the Red Faction series and definitely worthy of the Red Faction name. Guerrilla isn't just a third-person action title, it's an action-packed romp with amazing destructive elements that will keep you playing for a long time.
That rattles her cage!
Guerrilla starts off 50 years after the first Red Faction, where the Earth Defense Force have begun abusing their powers on Mars, making life very difficult for colonists living on the planet. Alec Mason is our main man, coupled with his trusty steel hammer and powerful swing that make most baseball stars probably envy. While Guerrilla doesn't have the most memorable of narratives, it's enough to keep you interested in what's going on. Destruction is what Guerrilla is all about, as pretty much any structure is vulnerable to your attacks. The physics are incredibly impressive, allowing you to place explosive charges all over building foundations before setting them off and slowly watching them building crumble and fall down piece by piece. Anything that is man-made in the game, from light towers to water structures to three-story buildings, can be destroyed. While Guerrilla's claim to fame is the destruction, it's also a neat little third-person shooter beneath the surface. You'll find yourself engaging in intense combat with EDF soldiers quite often, and while you can use surrounding buildings to advantage to crush enemies, having a strong firearm and being steady with the aiming system is important in a lot of cases. The aiming and cover systems are impressive, and there are plenty of awesome weapons at your disposal. The covering system is also implemented well, with most objects in the environment available for cover. The first hour or so of Guerrilla moves incredibly fast as you aim to liberate two areas of the Martian map. The first few missions really feel like tutorials, and once you get into the fourth or fifth hour you'll notice more mini missions and story missions appearing on the map. Most of the missions have you trying to take down EDF buildings and stopping enemies from entering rebel bases, while the side missions are a mixture of rescue, search, chase and destroy missions. With every action you do in Guerrilla, the moral meter increases or decreases depending on the action. The higher the moral meter is, the more ammo there is at the drop boxes around the world, so you really have to be careful not to run over friendly soldiers or take down rebel bases. There's also a control meter which lets you know how strong the EDF presence is in a particular area. The main goal is to get the meter down to 0 so that the rebels can liberate the area and drive the EDF out. Guerrilla has an impressive multiplayer component that is surprisingly deep. You'll be forgiven if you get more game time out of the multiplayer than you do in the main story, as it's packed with great modes and awesome weapons. You can play with up to 16 players in your typical multiplayer modes, and there's also a fun offline mode called Wrecking Crew that has you trying to outdo your friends' destruction scores as you destroy things in the world. Red Faction Guerrilla is some of the best fun you're going to have this generation. There's plenty to get through in the single player story and a deep multiplayer component to keep you playing it for a while. The destructive elements are the title's call to fame, with everything that is man-made vulnerable to your attacks. The weapons are great and the missions varied enough to make this a really enjoyable ride. Be sure to check out our full written review at my360.com.au and myps3.com.au.
That rattles